Good morning. We see a few people coming in. We'll let you find your seats. Thank you very much, Lindsay, for starting us off this morning. Good morning. I'm Dr. Bree Evans Santiago. Thank you for replying. I'm Dr. Bree Evans Santiago, and I'm happy to be your worship associate today. Welcome to our Sunday service at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Long Beach. We are a thriving, multicultural Unitarian Universalist church of people of all ages who are seen, heard, and cherished. We lead with courage and humility as we transform ourselves and our world. We are rooted in love, welcome people of many paths, and act together for justice, equity, and inclusion. We welcome everyone to join in this vision as we live into our mission to nurture community, confront injustice, and center love. Welcome to those of you who are new or visiting our church this morning. We are so glad that you're here. Please stop by our membership table after the service to fill out a newcomer form or scan the Welcome Visitors QR code on the order of service so we can follow up with you. Our starting point workshop is offered after service today in the lounge, and every it is not the first, is it first Sunday today? It is. First Sunday of the month. No registration is necessary. Come and meet our other newcomers and learn more about the congregation and community. Our children and youth continue their camp, UUCLB Summer Fun Times with Beach Day by the large picnic tables. Our nursery is open for infants and toddlers. Please be sure to sign in your children and sign them out before and after services. Director of Religious Education, Amy Pabon, will share a few announcements, which she gave to me because she said they're short-staffed today. So I will share that announcement. And then we have a few other people as well in a moment. So Amy says, hello everyone and good morning. This year, Religious Education decided to restart the UUCLB Backpack Project. The Backpack Project is a school supplies donation drive. All supplies are donated to Bethune and to support children and youth who are unhoused or in transitional housing. We are now in the final 2 Sundays of our UUCLB Backpack Project donation drive, and we would love some more donations. Suggested donation items are backpacks, notebooks, pens, pencils, folders, calculators, glue, and more. Donations may be dropped off at the UUCLB church office or during RE. We may extend the final donation drop-off date from next Sunday, August 9th, but we would love to drop off all items prior to the first day of school. If you have any questions, please email Amy at dre@uuclb.org. Thank you for your generosity and support. And now for a few more congregational announcements. Our August advance is hot off the press, featuring our upcoming events and opportunities for worship, fellowship, learning, and care. Director of Music, Malila Hallow, sends her greetings from the Association of Unitarian Universalist Music Ministries Conference in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Malila invites you to join the choir potluck on Wednesday, August 5th at 5 p.m., followed by the first rehearsal of the new church year. All are welcome. Next, if Chris Ann could share an announcement, and thereafter we have one more.
Hello, everyone. And we've had a couple of good mornings, so I want everybody to turn to their neighbor and say, good morning. Good morning. That's lovely. My name is Chris Ann Blankenship. I am a board member here at UUCLB and a member of LA Voice Long Beach Community Organizing Committee. I am excited, beyond pleased, to announce our Assembly member Josh Lowenthal will be here at UUCLB on August 16th, and it's in your thing. Yep, exactly. His presentation will begin at 12 noon and last approximately 45 minutes. Questions from the audience will be invited, and there will be light and refreshments offered before the event. Please mark your calendars for this special occasion and encourage your friends and family, people on the streets, anybody that you might run across to come and share in this event at UUCLB. It's going to be fun, and we all hope to see you there.
That's exciting. Thank you, Chris-Ann. Hope everyone can join us for that. Next, we welcome Joanne Ponrubin to share about the upcoming Interfaith. Is Joanne here? Is that what that was? All right, we got it covered. I'm just following Reverend Liz. Okay. All right, there we go. So Joanne will do next week. We got Chris-Ann this week, so we won't forget that Josh is coming, okay? All right, so again, August 16th for that event at 12. Thank you. Okay, so next I will introduce our speaker for today, and then we will get to stand up and say hello to each other, okay? So we are going to introduce Gary Frazier. Gary Frazier is a writer, a healthcare executive, a longtime member of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Long Beach, where he has found spiritual community for more than 2 decades. Gary is also a writer who self-published Civil, The War That Never Ended, a book exploring the continuing influence of the Civil War on American democracy, race, and power. He is currently writing Mutta, a memoir honoring the women whose love, resistance, and wisdom shaped his life. Gary's sermons often draw from his own experiences with family, work, ambition, loss, and spiritual growth. Today, he brings us the 3rd part of his sermon series, following the Freestyle Rapper's Guide to Spirituality and Blessings in Hindsight, Reframing Regret. In today's message, Blessings in Real Time, Discovering the Sacred Ordinary, Gary invites us to consider how life's deepest meaning is often found not in extraordinary achievements, but in the ordinary moments unfolding around us. So let's please welcome Gary Frazier. We are definitely in for a treat today. Okay, so let's take a moment to say hello to those around us and give some greetings, and then we'll come back together.
The chalice?
After this, when they come back, I'll do that.
Try to get that part.
Perfect.
If I don't touch it every now and again, it's going to fall.
Because we'll light it, and then it's a song, and then it's here. All right, let's start finding our way back to our seats. There we go. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, there's a little bell. Should I do that? Does that help? There we go. Oh, look at that. We respond to bells and okay. right. Excellent. All right, so I will read this to call us to worship. Throughout our lives, we set our sights on meaningful goals and often celebrate extraordinary accomplishments. An award earned, a dream journey realized, a contribution that makes a lasting difference in the world. Yet, as with climbing a mountain, the summit is only one part of your journey. Along the trail are the moments that sustain us. The water shared with a fellow traveler, the breathtaking sunset glimpsed from an earlier peak, the strength in our bodies after countless steps and steady practice. These are the blessings that accompany us, often unnoticed, as we make our way forward. So as we light our chalice today, let us pause for a breath of gratitude. May we find joy not only in the milestones ahead, but also in the small, sacred moments that shape our journey and remind us that blessings are present in real time along the way. Let us come together in worship.
Good morning. Let us stand or rise in body or spirit and sing number 123, Spirit of Life. The lyrics will also be on the screen. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Let us take a moment to arrive. Bring your eyes shut if you're comfortable. Feel the weight of your body supported by the chair beneath you. Notice your breath without trying to change it. Notice the sounds in the room. Notice what is already here. So much of life is spent reaching towards the next thing, the next answer, the next opportunity, the next version of ourselves. For these few moments, let there be nothing to chase, nothing to solve, nothing to prove. Simply breathe. Allow yourself to rest inside this moment as it is. Not perfect, not finished, but complete enough to be lived. May we become more attentive to the people beside us, more available to the beauty hidden in ordinary places, more trusting of the seasons we do not yet understand, and more willing to let life unfold without forcing it into the shape we expected. Breathe in what is here. Breathe out the need for it to be different. And when you are ready, gently return your attention to this room.
Amen. All right. As we close in meditation with compassion, we acknowledge the joys and the sorrows of the congregation. Also, generosity is a core value of the faith, and each Sunday our offering helps to sustain our congregation alongside the pledges and contributions of our members and friends. So today, thank you for your generous support, care, and service to our congregation. And our offering will now be received.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in
Well, thank y'all for having me again. I know actually some of you missed the first couple of installments. But before I dive in, I know Lissa's not here. Maybe she's watching online, but she's the whole reason I actually started writing about 3 years ago. She actually pulled it out of me, at a coffee shop. We were just hanging out and catching up, and she asked me, what stories I had to tell, basically, and that started the whole train of sharing, if you will, some of my journey and my life with you all. So I just want to give a shout out to Rev Lissa. If she's listening, maybe she'll watch the YouTube, I don't know. Wow. So for about 8 years now, I've been maintaining a meditation practice. My introduction to many of my ideas behind the practice began earlier than that, though, through the recorded lectures of the philosopher Alan Watts. Watts had a way of taking ancient Eastern philosophy and making it understandable to a Western mind like mine. One of the stories he often told was an old Taoist parable about a Chinese farmer. One day, the farmer's horse ran away. His neighbors came to console him. "What terrible luck," they said. The farmer answered, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned, bringing several wild horses with it. The neighbors came back. "What wonderful luck," they said. Again, the farmer answered, "Maybe." Soon afterward, the farmer's son tried to ride one of the wild horses. He fell and broke his leg. The neighbors returned once more. "What terrible luck," they said. And the farmer said, "Maybe." Then military recruiters came to the village, taking every able-bodied young man away to fight in a war. Because the farmer's son had a broken leg, he was left behind. The neighbors called that wonderful luck. And once again, the farmer said, "Maybe." I used to think the lesson of that story was simply that something good may eventually come from something bad. But now I believe it's something more difficult than that. It asks us to resist the need to decide immediately what every event means. Good, bad, success, failure, blessing, curse. Maybe we do not yet know. Maybe life is still unfolding. Maybe our task is not to force every moment into a conclusion, but to remain present long enough to see what else the moment may become. That idea has followed me through each part of the story I've been sharing with you. For those of you who may have missed the first two parts of this story, let me briefly explain how we arrived here. Part one was called The Freestyle Rapper's Guide to Spirituality. I shared how a loud, stuttering little boy who dreamed of becoming a rapper eventually learned to use his voice. That path took me from hip-hop to an attempted calling to Christian ministry, and then through a crisis of faith that opened the door to a broader spiritual awakening. I began to see life less as a test with right and wrong answers and more like a freestyle rap, something unfolding in real time, requiring us to listen, respond, improvise, and trust the rhythm even when we don't know where the next beat is coming from. I called it freestyle living. But I also admitted that constant motion and risk-taking can feel exhilarating to the person on the ride and terrifying to everyone sitting beside them. That led to part two, blessings in hindsight, reframing regret. In that sermon, I told the story of Worksite Labs, the company I started during the pandemic. What began as a temporary COVID testing lab grew into a nationwide company with hundreds of employees and tens of millions of dollars in revenue. And then it collapsed. I described sitting alone in our empty office after the bankruptcy auction, surrounded by cardboard boxes, replaying every decision I wished I had made differently. Shortly afterward, my wife Camila and I left for Bali for our 30th wedding anniversary. That trip gave us space to reconnect and gave me enough distance to see that the story was more complicated than simply saying I had failed. Yes, I had made mistakes. Yes, my ego had clouded my judgment. Yes, I had allowed work to consume too much of my life. But I had also built something extraordinary and learned more about leadership, ambition, humility, marriage, and myself that I could have learned any other way. The blessings were there. I could simply see them more clearly in hindsight. I ended that sermon by wondering whether the next lesson was learning to recognize life's blessings while they were happening, rather than waiting until later to understand what they meant. Well, here we are. For most of the past 6 years, I worked from the breakfast nook in my kitchen. It sits at the back corner of the house, surrounded by windows. From my chair, I can see the driveway, the gate leading into the backyard, and the back house where my son and his family lives. This is the same kitchen where I started Worksite Labs during the lockdown in 2020. Back then, my grandson Huey was a toddler. He would sometimes wander into the kitchen while I was on a Zoom call and climb onto the chair and pull himself over my shoulders while I was trying to look serious and professional on camera. At the time, I probably saw it as an interruption. A cute interruption, certainly, but still an interruption. I was building a company. I was managing a crisis. That was the important thing happening. Or at least, that's what I thought. Today, Huey is 6 years old. Well, 6.5. He and his family moved away for a couple of years, but now they are back in the same back house. He no longer climbs over my shoulders during Zoom calls. Now he walks into the kitchen before school to say, "Hi, Papa," and to ask me for a snack. The kitchen is mostly the same. The table is the same. The windows are the same. The gate is in the same place. But I'm different. I now understand that the little boy climbing over my shoulders was not interrupting my life. He was my life. The work was the interruption. That does not mean the work was unimportant. The people we saved and served mattered. The employees mattered. The problems we were trying to solve mattered. But work was never supposed to become the entire field of vision. The life we are working so hard to build is often already happening around us. The spiritual challenge is whether we are present enough to notice it. When I returned from Bali, I did what I always have done. I got back to work. The day before we left for Bali, I interviewed with the CEO of Heliogenomics, a biotechnology company developing a blood test to detect liver cancer. I told him I was coming off of a significant loss and would use my time in Bali to decide whether I wanted to join another startup. Apparently, 3 weeks of yoga, meditation, Hindu temples, water blessings, and spiritual reflection were not enough to cure me of my attraction to startups. I accepted the position and became Helio's first chief growth officer in January of 2024. At nearly the same time, I began a major consulting engagement with the American Heart Association. I was working full-time for Helio, consulting for the Heart Association, and still managing the Worksite Labs bankruptcy. It was like having 3 jobs. Eventually, I converted the bankruptcy from Chapter 11 to Chapter 7 and dissolved another company I had founded, Ohm Healthcare, and stopped trying to save what could not be saved and allow those chapters to end. Letting go was painful, but it was also freeing. Helio gave me another opportunity to do interesting and meaningful work, but it was still a founder-led startup. Sometimes I watched its founder make the same mistakes I had recently made. I warned him, he often did not listen, and we clashed. The universe apparently has a sense of humor. After 2.5 years, I was restructured out of the company this past May. But this ending felt different. I was disappointed and frustrated, but I was not devastated. I knew the job had been for a season. More importantly, I knew the job was not my life. It was something I did. It was not who I was. During those same years, while work remained uncertain, the rest of my life became fuller. Camila and I took ballroom dancing lessons. We bought season ski passes and went snowboarding. We took golf lessons together. We traveled to wine country, went to spa treatments together, took walks through the neighborhood, and held weekly check-ins with each other. These things did not happen accidentally. We chose them. After allowing work to dominate so much of our marriage during the pandemic, we made a deliberate commitment to protect our relationship from my ambition. We did not wait for retirement. We did not wait until everything was stable. We began having and living the life we said we wanted while life was still complicated. After 30 years of marriage, I also bought Camila what I jokingly call her first real wedding ring. When we married in college, I bought her a $400 ring. It was what I could afford. In 2024, I asked her to choose something special, and she selected a custom-designed gold ring studded with rubies. The new ring did not replace the old one. The old ring represented who we were when we began. Young, broke, hopeful, and probably a little naive. The new ring represented everything we had survived: children, careers, businesses, losses, arguments, forgiveness, illness, and 30 years of choosing each other again and again. The ring did not create the love. It marked the love that had already been there. That is what sacred objects often do. They do not make something sacred. They help us notice what was sacred all along. During this same period, I began writing more. Writing began to become an outlet for parts of me that had nothing to do with business. One project became a political and historical book called Civil. Another became a memoir honoring the women who shaped my life. I also wrote the first 2 sermons in this series during that time. Writing reminded me that I am more than my professional identity. I'm a husband, a father, a grandfather, a son, a historian, a storyteller, and a student. For years, I treated those parts of my life like side projects. Business was the main event. Now I understand that those other parts were never in the margins. They were the center. Work was simply occupying too much of the page. I also enrolled in welding classes at Long Beach City College. Throughout 2025, it was not unusual for me to finish a Zoom meeting, walk outside, put on my welding helmet, and begin cutting or grinding steel in my driveway. I built a barbecue smoker using 55-gallon steel drums. There was something deeply satisfying about working with my hands. Steel does not care about your title. A welding torch does not know whether you are chief growth officer, a consultant, an entrepreneur, or unemployed. The metal either holds or it does not. Welding became a kind of meditation. Sparks have a way of demanding your attention. But it also connected me to my father. My father was a general contractor. I spent much of my adolescence and teenage years working with him on job sites, learning how to use tools to fix things and understand how structures fit together. During my 50th birthday celebration a couple of years ago, I realized that my father had dementia. 1 month later, after spending a day alone with him at the beach, I understood how serious it was. His prostate cancer had advanced to stage 4, and the hormone therapy used to slow the cancer may also have accelerated his cognitive decline. I began attending medical appointments with him and my stepmother. We found ourselves weighing questions that do not have clean answers. How aggressively should we fight the cancer? What might the treatment take away from him? How much time could it add? What would the quality of that time be? There is no spreadsheet that can fully calculate the value of another month of life against lost memory, independence, and clarity. Sometimes love means fighting, sometimes love means fixing, and sometimes love means sitting beside someone while acknowledging that there are things you cannot fix. As I worked on that steel smoker, I thought about the years I spent on construction sites with my father. The smoker became more than a project. It became a physical connection between the boy I was, the man my father was, and the man I am becoming. This is what I mean by the sacred ordinary. It does not always arrive as a revelation in a temple. Sometimes it is hidden in a welding spark. Sometimes it enters the kitchen asking for candy. Sometimes it looks like a walk with your wife. Sometimes it is sitting in a doctor's office beside your father. For most of my life, I thought meaning had to be built through extraordinary achievement. Start the company, grow the business, lead the organization, create something large enough to provide or prove that you were here. But meaning is not measured only by scale. A 5-minute conversation with your grandson can matter more than a 5-year business plan. A walk around the neighborhood can repair something that a luxury vacation cannot. A handmade smoker can carry more of your father's spirit than a monument. A wedding ring can represent an entire lifetime. The ordinary is not ordinary when we are paying attention. And that is the difference between blessings in hindsight and blessings in real time. Hindsight says, I did not know how special that moment was until it was gone. Present says, I know this moment will not last, so let me be here for it now. Today, I am between professional assignments. Helio is over. My most recent American Heart Association project has ended. I negotiated a decent severance package, so for now we are financially secure. But there is uncertainty. I do not yet know what comes next. And for someone who has spent most of his life creating motion, uncertainty creates a strong temptation to force something to happen. Send another email, start another company, create another project, fill every empty hour. Prove that I am still needed. But I am trying something different. I'm trying to become a little more like the farmer in that Taoist story. I do not yet know what this season means. I do not know whether being between assignments is good fortune, bad fortune, or simply a pause before something I cannot yet see. Maybe. What I am trying to practice is what Taoist philosophy calls Wu Wei. Wu Wei is sometimes translated as non-doing, but it does not mean laziness or passivity. It means not forcing. It means acting in alignment with the natural flow of things rather than trying to control every outcome. Water does not argue with the shape of the river. It moves, it rests, it gathers. It flows when there is somewhere to flow. I am trying to trust the next assignment will come when it is time. And I am trying not to judge this moment merely by what has or has not happened yet. Because whatever this season ultimately becomes, my life is not on hold. The sunlight still comes through the kitchen windows. My grandson still walks through the gate. My wife still wants to take a walk. My father still needs someone beside him. There are still stories to write, metal to shape, meals to cook, friends to visit, and mornings to notice. Work is important. Work gives us structure. It gives us resources. It allows us to contribute. But work is not the thing. Work is the thing that enables the thing. The thing is life. The thing is love. The thing is being present enough to recognize that the moment you once thought was an interruption may actually be the moment you will miss the most. So I am trying to pay attention. I'm trying to see the blessings before they become memories. I am trying to notice my life while I am still living it. And most mornings, that practice begins at the breakfast nook in my kitchen, surrounded by windows, waiting to see who might walk through the door. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful, Gary. Let us rise in body or spirit and sing number 100, I've Got Peace Like a River.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace tears like raindrops. I've got tears like raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like raindrops. I've got tears like raindrops. I've got tears like raindrops in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul.
As we leave this place, may we remember Mary Oliver's instructions for living a life. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. Go in peace and notice the blessings before they become memories.
Sorry, everyone, I'm having some technical difficulties. I need two hands. Don't worry, it's going to be fun. Oh, man. What a beautiful service today, yeah? Let's give Gary another round of applause. All right. this mic is really good that our sound person brought today.
I think you should sing more often.
Thank
Well,
you.
I usually sing, I know. So.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Kim. Oh gosh. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
It's amazing how much you sound good.
I know. I picked the right one.
When I was teaching, I always felt like
Good microphone. Good. Thank you. Thank you. So nice to see you, Kim.
okay.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Hi, Julie. How's it going? Good to see you too. Good. Oh. I wish I was like a little bit further forward.